Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. Welcome to the Nateland podcast. Today's episode of the Nateland podcast is brought to you by Sunday Lawn Care, Fabric, Athletic Greens, and Harry's. Welcome, everybody. Excited to be here. We're here. We're doing it. I feel like we're rolling. Mm-hmm. It's already started.
We're in it.
I got to get it together. My mind was, you got to get it together. But it's, we're doing good. Had a good weekend in Florida.
Well, it's been a month since we've all been here together, so it's going to take a few minutes to get back into the swing of it.
Yeah. People just, can you imagine someone listening? They go, and someone's like, I want to turn it off. He goes, no, you got to give them. They could fast forward it.
Give them 15 minutes.
But he goes, give it. That's how and our podcast is that, where they don't people say, they're like, you got to give it a chance.
Yeah, Dusty, what do you call your comedy sometimes on stage?
Oh, Crockpot comedy.
Yeah.
It takes a while to heat up.
Yeah.
You know, at first you don't even know if this thing's on.
Yeah.
Before you know it,
you got a pot roast.
You got a nice meal.
Yeah. You got to start it a day early. You got to think about it.
Yeah.
Know what you're buying. Yeah, that's where we could be the most like Seinfeld. Seinfeld was like that, where you're like, you got to watch it. And if you watch it, you're going to love it.
Yeah. FAU, which is in the Final Four in basketball, they released a hype video put together with Seinfeld clips.
Oh, really?
It's very funny. It's like showing Frank Costanza when he called Jerry's dad and said,
I'll be all over that shuffleboard court.
Try to keep us out.
That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. So you find like they need to hire a younger social media person.
You and I are the only two that like it.
Yeah.
People are like, what is this?
Yeah, who's your social media guy? You're like, I'd imagine, is he 43 years old? And you go, yeah, how'd you know that? Well, who would?
He's never got a chance. Nobody thought FAU would go this far. So they're like, just let Harold do it.
Yeah, that's funny.
You had a big birthday.
I had a big birthday.
44-year-old.
44 years old.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. It was in, they were Tallahassee at Florida State basketball, their arena. And they did nice things, and they had some stuff. And when I went out, I had a lot of people yell "Happy Birthday," which is a sign. I took it as because I've probably done shows almost all my birthdays, if they're at least Thursday to Sunday, and I almost want to say last year, I'm trying to remember where we were. We were in. I don't know if anybody yelled "Happy Birthday" last year. But I'm just saying, no one would know.
It was a down year.
Right.
It was a down year. Like
made some major moves though in a year.
And maybe someone yelled it. I didn't hear it, but it wouldn't be an overwhelming "Happy Birthday." And before that, you usually have to tell the crowd.
Yeah.
It's my birthday.
You got to fish a bit.
Yeah. You got to go. He goes, I don't know, man. I'm getting older. Today's my birthday. You just got to slowly let it slide. To go, no. You guys sit down. It's my birthday. But this one was a giant yelling of happy birthdays. So it felt. They make it every audience, and it's what I love. Everything feels very warm, and I just like to picture that everybody's just nice to each other there, and we're just having a wonderful, just a good time. Mm-hmm. And so it was very sweet. And then I ate, they had ice cream cake, cupcakes. I was mixing the ice cream cake. I had ice cream cake before I went on. Florida State, the Donald L. Tucker play. That's the name of it. Convention or whatever.
Civic
Center. Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. So everybody that worked there, they brought me all this stuff, and then
Is that you on stage?
That is me. Yeah. No.
While people are yelling out "Happy Birthday," you got your arms raised.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You're like, bring it in.
What you don't see is I'm going. The screens behind me go, guys. It's Nate's birthday. Everybody on 3, and I'm like, guys, quit it, quit it. No, there was no acknowledgement of my birthday that I know of. Maybe someone said it before. I didn't hear Julian or Justin. I don't think they would have, but. It was it was very nice, and then so they had. So I was doing ice cream cake, and then Outback, who's our promoters, not Outback Steakhouse. A lot of people think that it's a company called Outback, and so they are the promoters. They got me something, and they got me these cupcakes, and the cupcakes were awesome. And we did a little Elaine the muffin, top of the muffin to you.
Yeah, that's cool.
We took it. I mean, the top was unreal, unreal, and so then. And then we had after we got done, we went to this hotel.
Well, what'd you do with the stumps?
I would then kind of get after the stump a little bit. I did a little bit of stump, but I mean, they left them in there.
Okay.
And then we gave them to a homeless guy outside. No. He
was so mad.
Yeah, we go to this hotel afterwards, Travis, my tour manager, and they set up a fun, you're usually working on your birthday, they set up a very fun night. We went to this hotel and they had a room that had a pool table and we played cards and just had that cake, and we ate at this steak restaurant before, so it was a nice thing. And then these people just got married in this room. This hotel has a room that you can rent out for, I guess, a wedding or a reception or something after. So then they
you crashed it?
No, but they left. We booked it after them, so they had to leave. But then I think they were big fans, so they came. I met them, and then they came back in, and we took pictures. They just got married, which was fun. On my birthday, I always remember their wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
They'll always remember your birthday.
They'll always remember my birthday. I hope so. Maybe they forget. And you're like, dadgummit. You go, well, I got y'all something, so this is awkward. And then, so, yeah, we went there. Ricky, our bus driver, broke the door to the hotel. We walk into these glass doors, and Travis is up because you go to the steak restaurant. Steak restaurant was in the Don Shula's, a Don Shula, his restaurant.
Yeah.
And so you go in there to the steak restaurant, and then it's a glass door. So Ricky comes in and the door, it's a 400-pound glass door that just comes off the hinge, and Ricky he's got it up against his face, just holding it, and Travis just looks at him. He's like, because this door's broke. So
what a strong guy, though.
Oh,
Ricky.
yeah. Yeah, then Travis went over there and then this kid
That's
came.
who you want driving the bus. That guy can handle things.
Oh, yeah, Ricky can do it all.
Yeah.
And so then they had to hold the door. Then that entrance was just shut off for the rest of the night. So we put a stop to that. He didn't break it. Something was wrong with it. But, yeah, it was fun. But I've officially got I'm back to my starting weight, almost back to when we started. I'm 185.
All right, we can start over.
Start over. Yeah, we can start over. I'm starting today.
Yeah.
You're back in it.
I'm back in it.
What are you at, Brian?
185.
Okay. Oh, look at that.
I mean, I never moved.
Were you at 185 back then too?
Yeah.
All right. We're back in it. All right. Here we go.
Round 2.
What's the race to? What are we racing back down to?
Mine's gonna fluctuate. At least I'm gonna go back to 160. I was 160 when I shot the special.
Wow.
And I might even go below. Wow. I wanted to go and see what my body.
I can't believe you gained that much.
Doesn't look like it.
No.
It's tough, man. It is such a letdown. It breaks my heart.
I know.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
That's the hardest. I'm at a point where I'm like, I'm not gonna, have Eric on the road with me. Even if you can have someone, you think I'll just have someone on the road with me that does this, but he doesn't. You got to do it and understand it on your own,
right?
Because it's then we get off the road and then I come here and I eat a 32-ounce granola with yogurt. I mean, I'm eating a full pizza worth of yogurt and granola. It's how do you even get these things that are healthy? Combine them to make them unhealthy. Yeah. It takes work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, takes granola, a lot of work. I don't know that granola is that great for you. They really sell it. They really push it on us like it's good for us, and I don't think it is.
Oh, it's so good. That's why it's not.
They just put all that sugar and honey on it. And you're like, oh man, that is fun.
I ran into Shay the other day, and I didn't even recognize him.
Yeah.
He's totally changed.
Shay Mooney, Dan and Shay. Shay was on the podcast. Shay, if go look at that podcast and go look at Shay now. Shay, we just golfed last week, and I mean, he is tiny.
Yeah.
Like tiny. He weighs 140, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that picture.
You got it before and after right
Look at it. I'd like to say I started all this because when I lost weight before he did.
Looking like
I got down and then he started doing it. So I'd like to say I was the start of Shay. I'd call him fat a lot to his face.
He's got a Burt Kreischer before
body. That is very effective. It's a very effective strategy to have your friends call you fat to your face.
Yeah.
People are against it, but I can tell you it works.
Yeah, Shay looks crazy, dude. Like he's just he looks so good. And like, I mean, it's just looking at him. And yeah, I'm back to that Shay's body before. I wish my nipples looked like that. And
you know what's tough is scrolling through your phone and you have a bunch of before pictures like that there was just never an after to. Oh, yeah. Because you were like, here we go. And you take the picture.
Yeah.
And you forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. I'm making a big. My mindset's got to change to be like I'm starting to run. So I want to be a runner, and I want to be. I just want to be able to be healthy and like be like I think your mind, dude, gets with food. Your mind gets all foggy and you're just not, and you think it's the same way when I stop drinking. Like when you stop drinking, you think like, well, I'm going to lose who I am and what makes me a comic and all this kind of stuff. And so you feel like an identity with food too, that you go, well, I'm not going to go to McDonald's. Like if I'm not going to McDonald's or stuff like that, am I even the person you think?
Hey, that's real, man.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. You believe that. You
know,
like,
I know. What do I do with my nights?
It is true.
Know? Yeah.
I've gone through that with drinking, cigarettes, food, all sorts of things where you give it up and you think, oh, well, now I won't. What will I even joke about?
Yes.
How do I make jokes if I feel good all the time?
Yeah. But you go do more stuff and you're just trying to like not, your body's just, it's just so hard, man. We're so addicted. I am so addicted to sugar. It's insane. And, it's frustrating to be like so like dude. My plan was I have a before picture from Red Rocks. So when I started losing this weight, it was February. So my special 22 was it February of 22? February of 22. Yeah, my special came out this year, 23. Taped it in 22. So it was February of 22, and I was doing the Paramount Theater in Denver. And so we drove to Red Rocks just to go see it. And then it was the day I started working out. So we took a before body picture that day. And we're like, all right. And I was like, in my head, I'm like, all right, you know what? Next time I come here, I'm going to have an after body and I'm going to be playing Red Rocks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm going to Red Rocks in May. It's sold out. 9,000 people. And I am back to my before body. And it breaks my heart.
But if you had to choose one of the two to have come true, it's like the right one happened.
Maybe meant to be.
Yes, maybe meant to be. But it's the letdown in your own, like to go, you can't even control the easier one to control. The harder one might be to get the tickets, to sell the tickets and become good enough to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely
But the
harder.
one that's like, just
that's definitely harder than losing 20 pounds.
Yes.
You could just a cardboard cutout when you're at 165, put it on stage, and mission accomplished.
Dude, I would have been, there's a chance I could have been shredded by the time. Like
we still got 2 months, man.
Yeah.
Don't sell yourself short.
I have to go on. I just basically can't eat.
Maybe double down. Be heavier. Go 225.
Yeah.
Go
true.
big.
That's true.
Yeah, you're like, I sold this out. Who needs to lose weight?
Yeah. Yeah. That is true. Yeah. I could
all do it. Let's do a weight gain challenge.
Oh, I like this. Yeah, let's switch it up a bit, huh?
Started off with a Krispy Kreme challenge. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, I like eating all this stuff. I don't think I'll ever not eat McDonald's, but it's just your relationship with food's got to be much different. It's got to be, you know what you're doing, and the mindset's got to be different. And I want to be able to get into that stuff.
It is sugar, though. Sugar's the death. I mean,
it's
sugar
crazy, dude.
is
Sugar's.
death.
I did a show Friday night. I was listening to Dusty's podcast in the car on the way home. I was in a McDonald's drive-thru while Dusty talked about how McDonald's is poison. It did not deter me one bit.
No.
Well, I don't talk about it a lot on this podcast because I know this is a very favorable McDonald's podcast here. So I don't talk about. I don't.
If anything, it made me want to get it more.
I don't diss McDonald's when I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
You know where your bread's butter.
Yes.
You're not on this side of the table. You won't.
Yeah. It's tough. It makes it where you do want, and I do think about that a lot. Like, I don't know, what if I do get healthy and like, I'm not trying to say I want to be like, I don't want to be jacked. I'd like to be where you're that in shape where you just look good and like you can't even really tell when you have a jacket on stage. And but I think I can do more if I'm in that shape. Like sometimes people like, you get all these people too. They're like, oh, I liked Fat Nate was funnier and like now all this stuff. And you're like, but you're like, dude, I'm trying not to. I mean, I'm trying to go to the cities to come do shows. Like I can't. I will have to quit.
Yeah,
you have to go. I can't physically do it. It's so when you're on the road so much, it's brutal, dude. Like if you're, I mean, people that are listening to this, that there's probably a ton of people that travel. A lot of truck drivers. Listen to this. You know how hard it is for those guys? It's impossible. Because you just are like, what are you you're bored. You got to go to a lot of gas stations and all this stuff. You just, it's insane.
Yeah. And gas stations, even the truck stops are not bringing in a lot of healthy options. They're not, they got a lot of hot
you have
dogs
to make
on
your
the
own
roller.
Yeah. I mean, you have to like do a lot of things. You got to make your own kind of thing. And so it's like the mindset has to be like, you got to just, be like, all right. Like we were reading something to Eric this week, and there's a book called Atomic Habits. And I started reading, and I told Eric about it because I was trying to basically be like, why don't you read it? And then we can talk about it. And so I don't have, but it's a lot of it is like the mindset. Some of it's the mindset. Like you just got to be like, if if I want to start running, I just am like, I'm a runner. Like if you ask me something to go do, I'm like, well, I'm a run. I got to run today. I'm a guy that runs, and you just start saying you're this guy, and you live like that guy, and like so it's instead of being like I'm trying to start running, because then you're like, well, now you've already
right.
I won't do it.
You've given yourself an out a little bit.
Yeah. I'm talking a little bit of this on stage at the beginning, but it's like I can find. I'm not saying that I'm a runner thing. Like, I'm not just starting with like super positive. I go, let me tell you something, guys. I look at this crowd, and I don't want to look like you just make me so mad. No, they're all super healthy, and everybody's in good shape. It's you see. I've never been healthy. I've never done it. 44 years, never worked out. Never, I mean, I did it for the special, and I had the motivation for that special, and then I hit it, and it just slowly, I just couldn't stop the old me. Mm-hmm. I didn't go like, all right, dude, we're now 160. We're a body that's 160, and that's what we are. And now let's like work out and keep it going. Mm-hmm. I just slowly went the other way.
Specials in the can. Welcome back, Nate.
I think you argue there and one time on this podcast that keeping it off is not as hard as keep going. And I would say most people would say keeping it off is the hard part.
I think they're both.
Yeah.
Because it's easy to feel good about your progress that you made and be like, all right, I did it. That's what they say in like AA, right? They say you get a chip when you go in, you get a chip for the first month, you get a chip for the second month, because the second month is where people start to convince themselves that now that they've quit drinking, now they're like, oh, I can quit anytime. Mm-hmm. I've already quit. Yeah. I've accomplished this. So now I can go back to drinking because I can quit whenever I want.
Or maybe don't give a chip the first month then.
Well, I think you get a chip for coming in. Oh, okay. And you get a chip for 30 days.
Okay.
And then you get, the second month chip is like, all right, you've hit a milestone, but don't turn back now.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that was like the drinking, it's just understanding what this stuff is, and that's the same with food. It's like just understanding what it is, and just being like, you think you're like you just feel like you don't have any energy, and you don't have any like drive to go do anything, and you just feel like you're like the world's trying to keep you like that, just to be like you don't achieve anything, and then you grow up anywhere that's not New York or and now especially growing up when we grew up, I mean there weren't restaurants, there wasn't all these like new restaurants or new places to go eat or all this. You had to go to like either you went and made stuff at home, or you went to McDonald's, or you went to if it was like a big trip, you get to go to O'Charlie's or something and then but there's no. You weren't, they didn't have.
Applebee's was a big deal in the night. I mean, I know you worked there, but the 90s. I mean, it was a nice restaurant that you would, it'd be like really fancy to go to.
Yeah.
For my family, it was. It was like
we had a place
Applebee's?
called Ryan's.
Oh yeah,
you know Ryan's?
I know
Absolutely.
Ryan's.
Oh, that was a big deal. When
I've
we went
tore
to
up some Ryan's, man.
Yeah, Ryan's was great.
Ryan's, Golden Corral, Western Sizzling.
Yeah.
Is it Sizzling or Sizzler?
Well, there's the Sizzler out west, but in Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, there's the Western Sizzlin', little apostrophe at the end, no G. Sizzlin'.
I like Sizzler better.
I never been to Sizzler, but I worked at Western Sizzler.
I'm just the name.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think
are they the same person?
I don't think so.
Wow.
I think we would call it the Sizzler sometimes. It does have a cool name. The Sizzler.
It's easier to say. Western Sizzling is like kind of difficult to say.
The Sizzler sounds like a drink to me. It's like an icy. Like let's go get a Sizzler at the 7-Eleven.
Oh yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Like a lot of like 7-Up.
I think I associate it with Western Sizzler too much.
What about Ponderosa?
Oh, I've been to a Ponderosa. Yeah, that was good.
Lebanon had a Ponderosa and a Western Sizzling.
Yeah, well, that's money. If you have money, you go to Ponderosa.
Yeah. So we went to Western Sizzling.
Yeah.
But then they passed liquor by the drink, I think, in the early 90s, and we got a O'Charlie's and Applebee's. It was big time.
Yeah.
But we didn't go because we protested.
Oh, because they're drinking.
Yeah.
We went to I went on a retreat with my dad, like his company. He won an award and they got to go to a trip, and it was a bunch of people from his work. And we went to an O'Charlie's one night, and like hamburgers were like $10. And my dad was not broke, but he got really fired up about it being a $10 hamburger. And it was a big deal. A fight happened. The next year, same situation. My dad refused to go to O'Charlie's. So me, him, and my stepmom went to a Shoney's and ate a $7 hamburger to avoid the $10 hamburger at O'Charlie's. We ate alone as opposed to eating with the group. We saved $9. Yeah.
And wait, so y'all left?
We were like, they were all like, we're going to O'Charlie's. And my dad got mad. He's like, I will never go to O'Charlie's again. I still don't eat there now because of this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with my dad. It's principle, but it was kind of like, I was like, I'll throw you the $9 just so we can eat with the rest of the people.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, O'Charlie's, it is uppity.
I talked to a guy this weekend who doesn't, the Steak and Shake, I guess, has a thing where you order, it's not people coming to your table anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And so.
That was part of the charm of it. It was like a diner. Yeah.
And so he just went in there and he goes, I went in there and told them all. I go, these are taking people's jobs. And then just like lost it. Not like angrily, but like just like to his wife's like, oh gosh. And he's like, and he couldn't, and they left. And he goes, we won't eat here. Because he goes, you're just having these computers work for people and you're taking people's jobs. I don't like that that's happening. Like,
I saw somebody just do that at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You could only order on one of those mobile screens at this particular McDonald's. And this older guy, he was just like, I'm at it. I think he was just mad that
probably harder to order. He's like, just tell somebody.
Yeah, you just want to sometimes go, I don't want to go. I like it sometimes because it's like I'm going to be I'm going to do all these like things.
Yeah.
So you like to kind of do the screen because you're like, I don't feel bad about doing it, telling someone.
Yeah.
But I do understand too when you're like, yeah, dude, like an older person going in, and I'm going to be that older person. You're going to be like, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
So Steak and Shake spent $50 million to eliminate table service at its restaurants in favor of self-service ordering, and it kind of worked for them. They had 3 years of losses, and since then they've posted profits of $11.5 million, $13.5 million.
They also close a lot of stores too. I mean, I just physically saw them disappear. We lost the one in Hermitage.
Oh yeah, Whataburger showed up. Right?
Yeah.
I just ate at the one Daryl Walter Ponda. When I go there, I go across the street to that Steak and Shake. And yeah, you got to order on the screen and then they just yell your name. You go up there and get your food.
Mm-hmm.
Is it no tipping?
I'm sure they still want a tip.
No, I think I paid there at the thing and I don't remember.
Yeah.
Give it some time. The machine will want a tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I had that parking machine ask for a tip. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Where?
In Houston, I had a parking garage. It was like $30 a night. And then I swiped my card at the end and it asked for a tip. For a machine. I didn't interact with a human being the whole time.
Yeah.
I was furious, dude. I put $0 tip.
Oh, yeah.
Got out of there.
I had a guy at a car wash do that to me. Like, it's like a self-serve thing, but he came up to help me. And I'm like, it was irritating me. I'm like, I got it. I know how to work the car. And then he goes, do you want a tip? And I go, well, what do you do? He goes, oh, you don't have to tip if you don't want to. And I go, well, no. Well, what do you do?
Yeah.
He goes, oh, we just, he didn't really. I was like, well, no, then. He didn't even have, we just help out. And I was like, I go through a machine. Nobody's washing the car.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're tipping for like you're like, well, we have to like shut the building down the night.
Yeah.
Like, you got like and like that tip to that one, the parking thing, you want a tip to go like, I'd like to follow this money. Where's that going?
Yeah. Who's getting the money for this?
Yeah.
Because I did not see a human being in this parking
There's
garage.
AI in there. He's like, tip me.
Yeah.
Chat GBT.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes they have this setting like from something. Like, I wonder if it's like, like a setting from you're doing like a restaurant check system that has a spot for tipping, and then you're like, and they just haven't changed over.
I think they just go, let's just see if any idiots actually throw a tip. Just leave it on there.
Mm-hmm.
And people do, I bet.
Oh yeah, I mean, I probably would get caught. Like anybody could make you tip. I mean, a guy could walk up like that, like at that gas, unless you're gonna be confrontational, like you come from the slaves. Who, this is what they do.
Yeah,
they're used to people walking up and being like, "Oh, I'll talk to you about it." But most people, you get, or some people, like you could just feel pressured and be like, "Okay, yeah, $2." You something, and they're like, "Oh, and then you just feel uncomfortable about it."
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, that place, it's like there's a thing where I do the stuff and the guy's coming up to the window helping me. And I'm like, I don't need help here. You've made it more
helps you touch the...
it's like you've made this more complicated for me. I just want to pull up here and you're out here taking my card and asking me what car wash I want. I'm like, just let me look at it.
Yeah.
We don't need a tip is Sunday lawn care.
Yes. Well, that's true. And I'll tell you what, I love when weather starts to warm up. I read that, but I do love it. Mm-hmm. I like to get out in my yard and I like digging in the garden. My hands are dirty right now and I've washed them a million times,
but
I cannot get the dirt out of there because I've been digging in there and I love it. It's one of my favorite parts of spring, summer, fall, all the best. And Sunday is everything you need to get the lawn you've dreamed of. This spring, go to getsunday.com/Nate and enter your address to get a customized plan created just for your lawn. No trips to the store or hauling heavy bags since they ship straight to your home. And I do haul a lot of heavy bags. So that's you just need a hose to apply Sunday. That's the product, not the day of the week. You can fertilize your whole lawn in less time than it takes to watch an episode of your favorite TV show. And they only use ingredients you can feel good about. No harsh chemicals, no long waiting periods, or drying to keep your kids and pets off the lawn. Simply apply, let it dry, and you're back to enjoying the yard. Sunday is easy and affordable. Easy, like Sunday morning. Some lawn care professionals cost more than $1,500 a year. But Sunday's full season plans start at just $109. And Sunday is offering our listeners 20% off. So that's big time. Full season plans start at just $109, and you can get 20% off when you visit getsunday.com/Nate at checkout. That's 20% off your custom plan at getsunday.com/Nate.
There we go.
All right.
I wonder if they are going to start they do tipping where it's like you're just not, businesses like, well, just don't pay the minimum of the workers or something.
You know, a model I've seen a lot, I see it on mostly with software. Like I'll download an app or something and it has variable pricing where you just choose how much you want to pay for it. It'd be like $8, $24, $38. And a surprising amount of people don't pay the minimum. They're like, I actually like this product. I'll just pay more for it.
Wow.
Wait, what is? Oh,
it's variable pricing. You download the app and then you decide how much you want to pay for it.
For what?
For like, I had this old, they're like web development apps that I used to use that were variable pricing.
Huh.
You just got to choose how much you paid.
Yeah, it's not for like a shirt or something like
no,
that.
No, it's just like for like.
And no matter what you pay, it'll be the same thing.
It'll be the same thing. You just decide.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
And if you're genuinely like, this is a small company that makes this app, I want to support them, I'll pay a little more for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it, but some people did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. You know, there was a coffee shop in Opelika that I went to one time, and I ordered a cup of coffee, and I was like, what does it cost? And they go, whatever you want. Just pay whatever you want. And I'm like, I don't like that.
Was it a Christian coffee shop?
I don't know. They didn't seem overwhelmingly Christian. They weren't really putting it out there. But they're like, pay whatever you want. I'm like, don't do me like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because now I feel inclined to pay a little more so that I don't seem cheap.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm paying $5 a cup now because I'm like, well, I don't know. I feel weird about it. Coffee shops, there's no music. It's quiet. You're staring right at the person.
Yeah, I thought of it this weekend with, I bought some new golf balls, the Pro V1s, which they have a new one that they came out with. Pro V is the most expensive ball. And I haven't like completely, I mean, I always play like, I've played Callaway, I played like a bunch of different golf balls. But like I started thinking about it. Some reason it hit me. I was with Justin Smith, me and him riding around, and it hit me as I had a ball go, you know, I lost like it into the rough stuff, and I'm like, this is $5 a ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like it's almost like I made my 44-year-old showed up, and it's never showed up until right then, and I thought this is $5 a ball.
Yeah.
And you're like, am I even good enough to even know the difference or all this stuff? And then you're like, these balls are so expensive.
And do you still lose a lot of balls when you play? I mean, how many balls would you lose in a normal round of golf?
I mean, it can, you know, I'm like,
I'll burn through 20 or 30.
No.
You lose that many balls in a ball?
Oh, yeah.
I can be, it's been what I'm doing. Like if it's not going on, I could easily lose 5-6 balls, but like
that'd be $100 or more.
Well, I'm not. I'm hitting balls I stole from the driving range. I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't have Titleist V1s out there.
Yeah. But it makes you like go like, oh, like if you're having like whatever rounds, you're like maybe I need to just use some other. They're so expensive. $5 every time you hit that thing.
Well, just for some comparison, Aaron's saying he's losing 20 to 30. How many are you saying you're losing?
I mean, you would hope to. It depends on the day, the course. At least I don't know. I could have some. The other day I played, I didn't lose. I lost 1.
Okay,
but then I've lost like 3. But I mean, I can easily lose. Like I've had days recently where it's just it's not together, and I've lost like 6.
Yeah,
and that's $30.
So
on top of
a bad day for you lost 6.
Yeah,
that's a very bad. I've played with you. We've not lost any.
Yeah.
Okay. So I never golfed, so I just want to get an idea.
Yeah.
10 to or 20, 30 is.
Yeah, some important context here is Nate's a way better golfer than I am.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
But it would be, but it could be that it's that, but it's in ball. You can lose a ball in the fairway. You could lose it.
Oh, yeah.
I get so impatient. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
If I don't see it right away, I'm out to drop another one. I'm not keeping score anyway, dude. Just toss one out there.
I go to Walmart and just buy a giant bag of balls, and they're like mixed, just different. And you and I were playing one time with Henry Cho, and he needed a ball, and he's like, "Give me a ball," and I tossed him one, and it was like a Wilson. He's like, "I'm not hitting this."
Yeah.
Wow.
He made me go get him a real ball.
Yeah.
He threw it back to me.
Yeah.
Well, what makes, what's the difference in a Wilson and like not even like a Titleist, the best? I mean, what's the difference in a Wilson and a?
You can feel if it's a really cheap ball. You can just feel
It gets marked up pretty quick. I mean, a cheaper ball will break a lot.
Up.
It gets scuffed up, and like you can have cuts in it pretty quickly. Where like a Pro V, that's the thing though. Besides losing it, if you're not losing it, a Pro V you can hit it a lot longer, and it's not going to scuff as much.
Supposed to go farther, faster.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're doing a thing where they're trying to roll back the balls for the pros.
Okay.
Like they're trying to make balls that are not going to go as far because everything's going too far now.
Like the wooden bat with the baseball.
Yes.
Or tennis.
Mm-hmm.
There's been talking about going back to wooden tennis rackets.
Really? Because they're hitting it too far.
Because they serve so fast that there's not even a lot of volleying. It's just, power.
Yeah.
They think it'd make it more interesting.
Power's pretty fun though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's after like 3, you'll be like, okay.
Somebody returned the serve.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. All right. We still do you guys comments. Madison Hill. I would have bet my life that we would never get a guy on this podcast more well-versed in the subject matter than Greg Warren and his grocery store products. I stand corrected. The confidence in which Mike spoke about the mafia was mind-blowing. Never once was he stumped or stuttered on any response or question that was put his way. He could easily be an adjunct professor in a mafia class at an elite university. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
He was very good at what he does.
It was something because it was like, I wanted to like throw in jokes, but I'm like, well, Mike really knows what he's talking about here. There's not really a lot of room
it's
for
interesting.
error.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Matt Budd, I'm not sure how I feel about having a guest who is actually knowledgeable about the topic. Can we go back to summer interns and people who work with Nate's sister? It's true.
Yep.
Mike was too much. He knew too much.
It is better if he know less. Like that's what
Yeah.
I thought coming into this. I'm like, I know nothing about the mafia. This will be fun.
Yeah.
I had no idea Mike was a real expert.
I would like to check in with Mr. Giada at some point, see what he's up to. Bigfoot expert. We forgot his actual name.
Oh, yeah.
We call him the Bigfoot guy so often,
Yeah.
but I think about that guy a lot.
Yeah. How's he doing?
Yeah.
Michael DeLazer disease. DeLazer. We absolutely need a part 2. The fact Lucky Luciano was barely mentioned and Al Capone was completely left out is criminal. No pun intended.
Yeah, another great show we didn't talk about, Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
Both of those characters in that.
Which friend of the podcast, Nick Novicki, was on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at our house when he was doing it.
Oh,
In New
really?
York. Yeah, he'd stay with us. Michael Mitchell. I've told that story about going to that after party, right?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Michael Mitchell. Instead of searching for the actor in Black Mass, I'm pretty sure Dusty was just watching some YouTube conspiracy videos. The responsibility distracted him so much. He is so much more involved when Aaron does the web searches.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the computer's too much pressure.
Yeah.
It is too much pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people get mad. I see comments all the time that go, they're sitting there talking about stuff that Aaron can just look it up. Well, that kind of just kills the conversation.
Yes.
We look stuff up right
It's
away.
a balance.
Yeah, you don't want to look up stuff right away. You want to have the conversation. Josh Footy. Foot. It's just probably Josh Foot
Probably.
with an E. They put an E.
I think that's how Shelby Foot. I think that's how he spells his name.
Oh.
You know Shelby Foot? He's a historian.
Oh. Why would I know? Like,
He's in a lot of the Ken Burns documentaries.
I've never
he's
listened
fun.
to anything
He's
about Kim.
fun.
I've never listened to Kim Burns.
Well, you would watch him.
Oh.
He had documentaries.
I never watched any of it. So I always hear about
I've
it.
never read any Ken Burns stuff, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure he wrote a book. He probably wrote a book.
Not that he's famous for documentaries. You'd watch it.
I bet he wrote
But there's
a
a guy, Shelby Foote, who might be related to Josh Foote.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's when your last name's Foote and they're like, we're getting destroyed over here. They go, we're throwing E at the end of it.
You got to church it up a bit.
Yeah.
That's Shelby Foote. I mean, doesn't that look like a guy that you'd want to hear history from?
Yeah.
You don't recognize him at all?
No. I don't even know what Ken Burns looks like.
That guy looks like everybody I've ever seen.
Well,
with a
Ken
pipe.
Burns has an interesting look.
Yeah, Ken Burns is odd looking.
Where would you watch Ken Burns at?
PBS.
So y'all all watched him a lot, Dusty?
I never watched.
Yeah.
Him. No.
College educated watches
Yes,
him.
yes.
That's
I watched,
exactly.
I watched the one on baseball and the one
Baseball ones.
I hear he
great.
did a
country
good
music.
one on country music. I would like to
did.
watch it, but
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
I think, yeah, it's a college thing.
Yeah, I think so.
The educated.
Yeah,
I
you
like
guys
a-
wouldn't understand.
I like a documentary made in a basement somewhere. That's my style.
Yeah.
I like some rough cuts.
I want a guy
Yeah.
that your documentary needs to be. The FBI is probably about to knock on his door. There's a
Yes,
chance they're
exactly.
outside. Yeah.
You want
I
it
like
made
when
on
they,
iMovie.
Yeah, you got to watch it today because it might be deleted tomorrow.
Josh Foote. For about a 48-hour period in 2003, the world thought that Jimmy Hoffa had been buried in my aunt and uncle's crawl space in Bay City, Michigan. A guy who was writing a book from prison about the old Teamster boss claimed that he hid Hoffa's body in my family's home back. What? In my family's home back?
Home back when he owned the home.
Oh. I'd say when you look at some words and then it's almost like I just forgot the context of the sentence I was
Yeah.
in. And then you're like, well, that doesn't make sense at all. All right. The old Teamster boss claimed that he hid Hoffa's body in my family's home back when he owned the home. I did not expect another home to be in that
Yeah,
sentence.
he should have went with
That's
house on that
not-
second one.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a great sentence, to be fair.
There wasn't. He's like, this guy's like, I'm typing in a comment, and I'm not writing a book, you know. And guy that can't get to it, we're like, all right, maybe clean this sentence
Yeah,
up.
it's your fault, Josh.
There was in fact a body in the crawl space wrapped in a garbage bag, but it was not Hoffa. My uncle and cousin would regularly go in the crawl space to put mice and pest repellent, and had no idea they were right above a victim. Wow.
We
That's
got
great.
video of this.
Oh man.
This morning, they've been using a backhoe and metal detectors to search the ground under the swimming pool. But
Got some. What they got growing there, Dusty? You like some?
Maybe some grapes,
with a backhoe and metal detectors,
muscadines.
Yeah, some muscadines.
crack one of the most notorious cases
Okay.
ever, the disappearance of Jimmy
All right.
Hoffa.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
crazy.
don't know if we got to watch the entire nights. You're like, you started with that weather of that night. Watching the entire news show.
It's a 1 minute long video, but okay.
Yeah. It's a minute 40 of just
Well,
like-
a minute,
We got
minute.
20 seconds in.
Yeah. We made it 26. Yeah. And we're just moving on from it. Like that's you'd be like, let's watch it. And you go, all right. All right. Stephen Vitry. My mom was a hairdresser in Haworth, New Jersey. She had this one customer who came in twice a week for a blowout. And even though she came so often, her husband always came along. So my mom built a relationship with both of them. One day my mom was watching TV and sees this guy's face on the screen. Her customer's husband was the Iceman. That's wild, dude.
Yeah, I mean, if the husband's coming with the wife every hairdresser appointment, there's something going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then they don't just have that good of a relationship. There's something going on.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, that's got to be,
Not that Iceman.
yeah. That's got to be such a, he was like,
You're like, it's cold in
yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I bet she's glad she was nice to him.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah. Just see that later on. Be like, you were just with pure evil.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could tell.
I wonder if the wife kept coming in for the haircut though.
I bet you look back and things make sense.
Yeah.
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 You know, you never think that at the time, but once you find out, you're like, oh, maybe he did act a little weird that one time.
Well, even like Dusty said, the fact he comes every time with her, I don't know what that means, but something's weird.
I've not been with my wife one time to get her hair cut.
Yeah. Almost wouldn't even know where
Yeah.
she got. Yeah.
I don't know where mine goes either.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So every time
Yeah.
you're like, this guy didn't have a job?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mike Vecchione shaves his own head, stands over a newspaper and does it in his house. So that's maybe the opposite of
He stands over a newspaper?
yeah. So the hair doesn't get everywhere.
Oh, okay.
Just shaves his.
So the middle of his living room or what?
Yeah. I think he takes all his clothes off and just stands over a newspaper and just grinds it in.
That's impressive.
He
Maybe
is.
get him a
Yeah.
broom.
I'm just saying. He's the opposite of this.
Yeah.
He's the Iceman.
he tells Katie to leave while
Yeah.
he does it.
Yeah. His girl goes, I'm also there when he gets a haircut. And you're like, because he's a psycho. And he does it. Brooke Bonano. Hey, folks. Direct Mafia Descent here.
Descendant.
Descendant. Mm. As soon as I saw the topic of the podcast this week, I immediately knew Nate was going to butcher my last name. I've heard it said a million different ways, but go Nate for keeping it original and dyslexic. Usually it's annoying, but this time I couldn't feel more honored. I absolutely love you guys. Thanks for making a hard week better.
All right.
That's one of the 5 families.
Bonano.
I think it was the Bonano family.
Banano.
Yeah.
Banano. Wow. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, you really don't even want to make fun of this guy's comment because you're
I
like,
know.
well, you've really given us some information there at the beginning.
Brooke. It's Brooke. Might be a girl.
Yeah. So you're in trouble, Dusty.
Well,
Yeah.
Brooke. Well, I know a guy named Brooke.
Do you?
I do know a guy named Brooke.
Yeah.
He doesn't spell it with the E.
Yeah. I think that's probably distinguishes it.
Yeah, it's probably a pretty big difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Garrett Moore, Two Thumbs Bargatze is a perfect mob name. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Fox, hey Bear, I'm glad Dusty's back.
All right.
I grew up in an RV park in Florida and then lived in a trailer park in Georgia for years. Good to have someone on this pod for our kind of people. We're having a good time here.
Well, that's true. Although RV's pretty fancy in my view.
See, I would have thought that'd be moving up to go from an RV park to a trailer park, but you think it's the opposite.
Yeah, I think that the RV being so mobile. I mean, like I know that they call a trailer a mobile home, but it's not that mobile.
No,
You're there.
Yeah.
The police can come get you.
Yeah.
RV.
An RV, you can move your address quick.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be out of town in no time.
Mm-hmm. Abby Wainwright. Dusty basically said, so I went to this place called Cookie Dough Magic, and I was shocked to see they served me cookie dough instead of ice cream.
Well, it's true.
That's true.
It's a fair point. There's not, there's no justifying it. But when I typed in ice cream on Google and Cookie Dough Magic came up, and then I went there and they had the cooler set up like it was ice cream, but inside was cookie dough. And you look at this. I mean, that looks like cookie dough. I mean, that looks like ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, but you put a spoon in there and eat some of it, and you're like, this is warm.
Well, I think that particular picture we're looking at is cookie dough and ice cream. But if you look some of these other, I mean, that's pretty clear.
Do they serve ice cream at all?
They did not at the place I went to.
Oh.
And it also closed. So
They look like
No
they're doing
one
pretty
else.
good now. Where's the?
no
We
one
gotta,
else.
yeah.
Trussville, Alabama?
In Huntsville, Alabama, they did not care for it.
Yeah, smoothest cookie dough you could imagine.
Because
They're in Truss, Alabama.
the roughness is what I always had a problem with.
Try our cookie dough in a cone, cup, milkshake, or sundae.
I'd eat cookie dough. It's not smooth enough, dude.
They have dough cream, so
Yeah.
that's probably the dough cream.
Yeah.
But it's cookie dough magic. I mean, it's being like, hey, we're doing cookie dough here, and that's what we do.
I mean, it is true. I mean, they let you know. And
Yeah.
that is my mistake.
How do you feel about doing a free sample? I always judge people that do free samples at these places. It's like part of it is if it's, you might not like it.
Yeah, but I think
Just
part
roll
of
the
it
dice.
is the fun of like, let me try that. You want to go.
I think
Yeah.
you're
holding
allowed.
up the line for 20 minutes.
I think
trying
you're
every-
allowed 1 or 2 free samples.
I would say
but
1
if
or
you're
2.
doing
Yeah.
all of them, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's just the whole
1 or 2.
Yeah, that's good. I'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could
You're like,
never do that.
Let's try the Rocky Road. And then you
Yeah,
go,
you go,
I'll have vanilla. That's delicious, but I'll have vanilla.
Yeah.
Well, you're a guy that's going in there like clocking in and clocking out. You're there to do work. You know, most people are treating it like a vacation. So yeah, I would be annoyed too. If
Let's
you-
go.
You're walking in there like it's your job. You know, go,
Doing 4
what
or
are we
5 samples,
doing
you're
here?
like, enough.
Enough. I mean, they should just have you the usual, and then they just hand it to you and you walk out. You're there for business. They're there for pleasure. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And I would understand the frustration of I've gone to places and you're frustrated with everybody being fun.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
I've got a problem here.
Right.
And so I'm here to fix this problem. And I know what I want. I want chocolate. I want to eat out of my way. And I want to get about my day and go eat this in my car alone and order a large and act like I'm giving it to other people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Chandler Rapper, I guess. R-A-P-E-R. So could have went. Man, we stopped it there.
Yeah.
But I mean, how is anybody not saying it that
I
way?
don't know.
Could be.
Foot should give that E to him.
Rapper.
Rapier.
Let him be Reaper or something.
Yeah. Rapier. Maybe it's Rapier.
You hope it is.
You hope it is. That's a tough last name.
Man, what a life.
Yeah. Vincent D'Onofrio was in Full Metal Jacket, The Breakup, Men in Black, and Law and Order. And Dusty went with he played the Thor guy in Adventures in Babysitting. Classic Nateland.
Well, I thought it was fun that he ended up in another superhero TV show later. And then, so back in the day, he played kind of a Thor character in that movie. But
Yeah.
You're right. That's a good point, though. He has a lot of great movies. And I went with this one bit part when he was very young.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's great, though.
Yeah. Cardye West. Cardye West. I'm an artist who does smaller scale stuff. I've recently found the enjoyment in creating using artificial intelligence. So I made this recent card I call the Bright Future Set. Photo attached.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
You've got the Nateland crew as babies.
Wow. That's crazy.
I love how Brian is not really a baby there.
Yeah.
Brian's got a little,
Brian.
he's got a Benjamin Button situation going on for sure.
I love these.
Yeah,
They look
that
very cool.
really does look like you.
Yeah.
I bet if you lined that up with one of your childhood pictures.
Well, your dad
Pretty similar.
commented and said it looked nothing like you, but
Okay.
I look Asian in there, I think.
I think it looks most like Nate. If you just said, guess who these people are?
Right. I look like
you-
Augustus Gloop.
Yeah, I don't really think it looks like
Yeah,
you.
do you got a little stuff on the side of your mouth like you just ate something?
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
Got a little cookie dough magic on
Yeah,
the side of the
man,
lips
yeah.
there.
Yeah, it does look like you. What kind of hat you wearing there, Dusty?
I don't know. It looks like a fish. I look Asian. I got like a fisherman's hat there.
I'll tell you what, I'm on board with all of them.
Yeah.
I think they all look great.
I mean, I'm ready to man a boat out here.
Bates is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
Those are fun. That's awesome.
You know what else is
Yeah.
fun? Little fabric.
Oh, I don't know if it's fun, but that's the point. Sometimes you got to prepare for stuff that's not fun. If you're looking to organize your financial future, make sure you like how I spun that.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Good
actually
job.
a terrible segue you had.
You saved me.
If you're looking to organize your financial future, you know where you got to start. It's with life insurance. Fabric by Gerber Life provides an easy one-stop shop for all your family's financial needs, offering high-quality term life insurance policies plus other financial solutions in one easy online hub. It was designed by parents for parents to help you get a high-quality, surprisingly affordable term life insurance policy in less than 10 minutes. Life insurance can have a bad rap for being complicated. Fabric makes it easy to apply with its seamless digital experience. It's all online and on your time. If you need extra support, they have a team of licensed insurance agents that can answer questions. You could be offered coverage instantly with no health exam required.
That's why it's fun.
Fabric is partnered with Gerber Life, trusted by millions of families for over 50 years. They have over 1,600 five-star reviews on trustpilot.com. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Cancel anytime. Look, you're silly not to get on this, okay? Protect your family today with Fabric by Gerber Life. Apply today in just 10 minutes at meetfabric.com/Nate. That's meetfabric.com/Nate. MEET fabric.com/Nate. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
You're a great ad reader.
Hey,
You are a great ad reader.
Yeah.
It's not always fun, but it sounds professional.
Very professional.
Thank you, man.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's how my comedy's described very often too. It's not always fun. It sounds all right.
Yeah, but I'd imagine that's what a comic would be. All right, what are we talking this week?
This week we're talking about pranks and practical jokes. This Saturday is April Fool's Day. So that'd be a good time to talk about it. Dusty, I think a few weeks ago in the podcast, you kind of identified the origin of April Fools. Do you remember?
Well, I mean, my belief, I don't know if it's true, but my belief is that April used to be the first month, at least in a sense. That was when the new year came in. So, and it makes sense when life is new and things are springing out of the ground and things are coming back to life. So they changed the calendar from April 1st being the new year to January. So anybody that kept celebrating April 1st as a new year was called April Fools.
That's the most popular theory. They went from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. We all know that, right?
Mm-hmm. Everybody knows that.
A lot of people didn't get the word, so April 1st rolls around, they're celebrating New Year's, and people would make fun of them. Like, you're a fool.
Yes.
They put a fish on your back.
And it makes so much more sense. Did they put a fish on your back?
Yeah, like you're real Jan, just a guppy, gullible.
They'd walk up and just put a fish on your back?
Yeah, like slap it on your
like
back.
Like a kid would put like a sign that says,
yeah,
kick
I think
me?
so. I think so.
They just slap a fish on your back.
And because the new year was April 1st?
Yeah.
What a weird reason to
when did they
bully
change it?
somebody.
1582.
Did they make a big announcement? Like,
how could you back then? You had to send out.
So I mean, how do people even know?
I just think it makes sense, right? It's like when things are coming to life. I mean, January 1st, I mean, it does not feel like
it does make sense.
It feels like
it's
a
spring.
real dead time.
Yeah.
You want to go back to the Julian calendar.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I do now anyway. I don't yell it out loud. I don't want people putting fish on me. But
You
shoot fireworks.
Yeah, but I feel like, I like that. I like to go with that.
Saturday's going to be a big day for you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be alone, but I'll be doing comedy, but nobody will be celebrating with me.
You think you're dressed a little better?
Yeah.
Maybe so. I'll be at Comedy Works in Denver. I don't know that anyone is going to celebrate with me, but I may come out and pop a confetti balloon just to see if people...
Friday night?
Happy New Year's.
You do a countdown, see who joins in?
Yeah, just see if they'll get into it.
Yeah. Happy New Year's.
Yeah.
So, do you have a favorite practical joke or prank? Because I found... I'll go ahead and tell you, I found an article from last year from LA Magazine where they ask you and your dad.
Yeah.
Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
No.
Lotion and conditioner?
Yeah. I did Kurt Metzger. We were on the road years ago. And I was opening for Kurt. And like back when I would open, it's like Kurt would be headlining and I'd be opening. We would have to share a hotel room. And so we were sharing the hotel room. And then so we were going to go do radio. And then Kurt walks. Kurt kept calling me his opener all weekend. And Kurt's older than me in comedy, like about not much. But he was above me in the scene, but not like, I mean, I was like, like he was with Big J and like, so I was like right below, was like me, DeRosa, Mike Vecchione, like the newer guys. And then there was Jay and Kurt, they were right above it. So I'd opened for Jay a lot, opened for Kurt a lot. And so we go out and we're in like connections the whole time. He's like, he'd be on the phone and he'd be like, what? He's talking to somebody. He goes, no, it's just my opener. And I'm like, Kurt, we're friends. And
that person knows me. You could just told him my name.
Yeah. and then he goes and so we're going to do something, and he was like, "Hey, where's the lotion at?" And I said, "It's in there. It says conditioner." He just asked me like the hotel, and I go, "It says." I go, "It should be in the bathroom." Then he goes, "Is it the conditioner?" I go, "Yeah, like conditioner for your skin." And so I just said that, and I wasn't doing too crazy. And then I walk over, and I mean, he's just rubbing it all over his body, all over his body. And I was like, that. And I was like, that's not it. And he was so mad because we had to leave because we were late. So he couldn't change or anything. And we had to leave. We left, and his whole body was sticky. And it made it it was super funny. And that, like, Kurt it was
Conditioner for your skin.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's ridiculous.
And then Kurt had.
Well, the question, I mean, even him asking you, is it the conditioner? It's like.
I just take advantage of, like, a situation is
Yeah.
what I would do. Kurt was like a guy that was like, I mean, just a real, like, a genius as far as a joke writer. And was one of the comics when I moved to New York, that was. I just was like, really couldn't believe I was like seeing someone that good. That was us. That was nobody. Like, we were all just starting, but it was like Jay was always the funniest person I've ever met.
Mhm.
And then Kurt was like, because they were coming together. They just, from Philly, and then Kurt was just like the jokes he was saying. It was like, you just could. I was like, this is crazy, dude. Like, this dude is, and like, he's extremely dirty. Like, all, like everybody. I don't have everybody I'm friends with is nobody's really clean except the guys here. But it's like, he was just brilliant. And like, I mean, I just was like, I couldn't believe like how good, someone was. That's how I felt. Shane Gillis is like that now. Like, Shane, I feel the same way I felt when I saw Kurt is when I watched Shane, and I was like, golly, like it was the exact same, much different in the fact that I've been doing comedy long, like, and now I'm an older comic, but seeing Shane Gillis is like that, where I was like, this dude is, it's just different. But yeah, that was my big lotion prank.
And then your dad's was the wheels and, I mean, not the wheels and doors, sorry. It's a different debate. The doorknobs and the
Yeah,
doors.
I'm saying that on stage.
Oh, so we should get into that?
Yeah, right now. I mean, another one he did was...
Well, you guys, let me just say, if you Google, I mean, you got a lot of pranks that you've played. That you talked about in your act. If I just Google it, the most popular one is the McDonald's taking the bite out of the burger. Yeah. But then you've done numerous to Nick that you've talked about on stage.
Yeah.
The Wolf.
The Wolf is good. The Wolf is good. And I mean, you watched a prank. Like the Greatest Average American, we showed a prank.
Oh, that's true. The Nancy Kerrigan. And
that's one of my happier moments of just being able to truly show you. We show you, because at the end of it, we show you when it happened. Because we were filming. Yeah. And then we thought of, and then I just kept it that way. And then I was like, the first time I say when you see the joke with Nick, the first time I say that is on that stage. I've never, because I was never able to tell that because he was with me the whole time.
Yeah. So Dusty, you've never seen Nate's comedy, but he has a bit about.
Dusty.
That's my favorite running joke. Is that you just never?
He doesn't know. He goes,
"What are you?" It's pretty funny.
He goes, "So you're how long you been doing comedy?
You do comedy too?"
Yeah.
It was when we were on the road doing the drive-in tour, and I can't remember who texted me, but I was outside the bus, and they texted me and said, "We're all lying to Nick Novicki and telling him we've never heard of Nancy Kerrigan."
And Tanya Harding and that whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we've never heard of it. And I remember I walked in and he was like in a fierce debate. Y'all haven't heard of this? I mean, my God. And we're all just pretending we were like, wow. That's a
great
crazy
prank
story.
Because it's on the surface, it is figure skating. So you'd be like, Nick, why would we know figure skaters?
Yeah.
But obviously it's so much bigger than that. So that was a great one. We played one on him while we were on the road. And now you and Nick have been friends for so long, and y'all are so close. And we were walking around. I think we were in Dallas.
This is Austin.
Austin, okay.
Yeah.
We were walking around, and you bet Nick, could you ride your bicycle all the way down to the certain location? It's pitch black at night out in this drive-in. And Nick's like, of course I can do that. And he takes off, and then you tell everybody go hide. And we all take off and we go hide. And I've known Nick for a while. I think that was the first time you'd really been around Nick much. And to show how good of a person Aaron is, he and I were hiding together, and he said, I don't really feel comfortable doing this. I don't know Nick that well.
You come back, remember Nick's blind, and it's night.
Yeah.
So he comes back, and we're watching Nick like look around for us, and we're all just hiding behind bushes.
Yeah. It shows you're a good person because you felt bad about it.
We watched him get on the bus and look for everybody and see nobody was there. Then he comes back.
Well, I mean, we hid for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
that
great.
was I do remember that now. It was all in a parking lot.
Yes.
And he thought we were in the bus. We saw him like go in and that was fun. Yeah,
Well,
it's all I do a lot of pranks with Nick.
Lewis with the rollerblades.
Have I not told that? Louis J. Gomez, whose birthday is April 1st. He was we were for Gary Veter's wedding. Had to get tuxes at a Men's Warehouse. And so I was there in the city getting fitted and so Lewis calls me and he goes, where you at? I go, I'm at Men's Warehouse. And he's like, all right, I'm going to come by. And I told him, I was like, all right, I'm at this one. I told him where I was. And then he calls me and he goes, I'm here. I don't see you. I'm like, he's at the wrong one. I go, well, they know you're coming. Just ask for Nate. And then I hang up. And then not knowing that Lewis is on rollerblades. And so when he first gets there, he's in front of the window, like rollerblading, like trying to be funny because he thinks I'm out there watching. And then he comes in with rollerblades, starts rollerblading through the store, and they're like, "You can't rollerblade in the store,
carpeted store."
Yeah. And he goes, "It's fine. I'm with Nate. He's in the back." And he's just, and they're like, "We don't know what that means. There is no I don't know what with who." And then he goes, "Why would he lie to me?" And then he's like, "Well." He would lie to me about this. and then he didn't go. That was my big boo. I like to let stuff happen. If something's about to happen, like Nick, hiding from Nick at the thing is I don't always do it like that, where it's but I let, if you're going to do something, I'll let you do it. And then I'll go from that.
Even if you know it's not going to go great. Yeah.
Even if it's it doesn't make sense what you're doing. But if you're going to, if you're like Lewis calls me and says he's at the wrong store, you're like, I'm not going to go, well, you're at the wrong one. I'll just go, yeah, okay. Well, come on in. I'm here. Mm-hmm. And then I just hang up and just know and then I just picture you just having to talk to people and they don't know what you're talking about. And
Because you told the other story about somebody getting in a car.
John F. O'Donnell.
Almost got in the wrong car.
Almost got in the wrong car and I stopped it. And I always think about that. He was about to get in. I was on the phone with him, and he goes, "This you?" And I go, "No, that's." And I was like, and his hand was on the handle of a wrong car.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Why did I stop?"
You should have just let it happen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's and it's usually I'm telling the person I'm in a white car, and and they're just not really thinking, and so then I just let it. If you're not being aware amongst yourself, I'm going to let you not be aware. I'm going to let you walk into something.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
You guys do pranks or been a victim of one?
Well, I was the son of a high school principal my entire life. So it was every year senior prank was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Things would happen to our house almost every year. The house would get egged pretty regularly. We'd get rolled. We only had 2 trees in our front yard, but they would get rolled and the house would get rolled. I remember one year it was actually a problem was they paintballed our minivan, just lit it up with paintballs. And so where it was dents and stuff. So that was a problem.
Was your dad furious?
I think he was probably mad about that one. The other stuff didn't bother him that much.
Yeah.
Well, what my mom started doing is she realized that these kids, they'd trash the house, but they wanted to see it in the daylight.
Mm-hmm.
So they trash it at like 2, 3 in the morning. And then once sunrise hit, they come back to like, maybe get pictures, but to see what they'd done. So my mom would clean it up between those hours. My mom would sit there in the living room and watch them through the window do this to the house. And then when they leave, she'd go out and clean it up. And then she'd stay awake, get a cup of coffee, and watch them pull around to look at the house, and it was all perfectly clean. She did that for, 20 years.
So your mom would know when they were coming to do it?
Yeah.
It would be something happening that she would know.
Or she'd hear it.
It
out
was
there.
just, you kind of hear it, and you're like, oh, it's the time of year where this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just go out there.
I like that she took that approach
Yeah.
rather than just being out there when they show up to have them not do
And
it.
just scare them off.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work on her part.
Yeah, it was a lot.
But
you
it's
know? I didn't help
probably-
at all.
She
but-
stays up all
It's
night.
probably satisfying though to sit on the front porch with your cup of coffee and watch them come to see their work.
Oh,
and know
that's
that-
why she did
You
it.
know that you foiled it. Yeah.
That's why she did it. She
Yeah.
was like, that just felt so good for them to be so disappointed. It's all gone.
Yeah.
But did you guys do senior pranks when you were in high school? Was there?
I feel like we rolled somebody.
Yeah.
That's
I never was.
That's
into
one
pranks.
that you do, and then you're like, what are we doing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You're just making someone clean up. Because I feel like my house got rolled, because that was a big thing to get rolled. I don't know if that still is, but like you could get your house rolled or someone else rolled.
When I was in middle school, it was big.
Not
Yeah.
since
It was
COVID.
big.
Now you got to
Yeah.
save that.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think about
Yeah.
that.
It was a big thing. Yeah.
You asked from stage, don't you? Senior pranks. Have anyone?
I did. Well, I had a bit where I talked about it. Yeah, and asked what people do.
yeah.
My school, and I think this is an approach that more schools are doing, is it's sort of a school sanctioned senior prank.
Mm.
It's where they allow it to happen. They understand there's going to be some kind of senior prank. So what we'll do is we'll allow it, but we'll just make sure it doesn't go too crazy.
Mhm.
That's how ours was. Like a teacher was there with us when we were doing stuff to the school. They let us in, but a teacher was there to make sure we didn't light the building on fire. But I think we took all the desks and chairs out and built this huge pyramid on the front lawn, did a bunch of other stuff. A common one is taking red Solo cups and filling them up with water and then just like paving the floor with it, where there's just thousands of Solo cups full of water.
Mm.
in the yard.
No, like inside in the school.
In the
Like in the
school.
hallway.
in the hallway of a school.
So like you just can't even take a step without.
No, you mean you have to individually empty all the cups. You can't just flood the school floor with water.
Yeah. So the pranks are just making someone do.
Yeah, making the
It's just-
janitor's job real hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my school, it was the kids would come in and the other kids would have to help fix
Oh,
all this.
the younger kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the underclass.
So the kids that called in sick that day,
Yeah.
they're the ones that did it.
No, this would be a school night. We do this, man.
Oh, okay.
So
right,
that
right.
is-
So the next day when somebody's like, I'm sick today, they're like, oh, you did this. cup
Oh,
thing.
right,
Yeah.
right. But they know it was us. It was like approved by the school.
Oh, okay.
And so and then you just know, all right, juniors have to go do it or something, or every year,
Yeah.
because then it gets cleaned up probably pretty easily.
I think ours, it took like 3.5, 4 hours for them
Yeah.
to where they could resume school.
Does someone
Yeah.
have to run it by the administration to make sure it's safe? And
I don't know. There's probably more of that going on than they let us know about. But we were told, we had like a cool teacher that was like, I'll just make sure it's not crossing a line.
Yeah, we didn't have those kind of cool vibes at my school. There were no, you know what I mean? There were no school sanctioned pranks
Yeah.
that I'm aware of.
Do you remember? Did y'all do anything? No,
I don't know.
Statue didn't
I'm
get
like,
stolen.
I don't
or-
know. I'm like you with the like if Nate had been like go hide, I would be like, well, I'm on tour with Nate, so I have to
Yeah.
do what Nate says, but I don't really want to hide from Nick.
Yeah.
You know?
I was the guy when we would go roll people's houses in middle school. I was always the guy who was like, "Come on, guys, let's." I was the lame guy.
Yeah.
Like, guys, come on, let's get out. We don't know. We do it to strangers' houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it always made
Yeah, I
me
didn't
so
like that.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. I never liked. Yeah, I mean the pranking thing is like that. Most of mine is just I let it happen.
Yeah.
If it's going to happen, then I'm gonna just let it happen. And that's, I don't like doing. I don't like necessarily doing something. I forget why we did like that one when Nick was like.
It was
I don't
just
remember
right
why-
place, right time.
Yeah, and it just like it just happened where he was riding his bike. We were in a parking lot. He kept making, I don't think he said that. He just kept riding it like way off and coming back.
He might have been making circles, but then you bet it. Could you go all the way down there?
Yeah.
Which is a crazy bet.
Yeah.
Obviously I could ride my bike to the end of this paved parking
And
lot.
he comes back and but I don't necessarily like lying to someone's face. Like I don't, you know, it's
you don't premeditate them.
Yeah.
But
A
if they
friend is different though. A friend is different.
Yeah.
Strangers, it makes me so uncomfortable.
Dude, I was watching a video on Instagram, and it showed a kid that's like, I duct taped my parents' house, and he duct taped his whole, and like his dad flips out all the time, and you're like, you see these kids, and you're like, you're just doing it to be like, what is this for? It's for clip.
I know.
And it's just constantly like he does stuff. He put peanut butter on all his parents' kitchen.
Does he live with his parents?
Yeah. And so there's a point that it's like, you know, it's clips, but it's like some of them, he had some views that were like 4 million views, and then some were like 150,000. You're like, is it worth it?
I mean, my dad would not play that at all. If my dad came in and there was peanut butter everywhere, I wouldn't be living with him anymore. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
There was a case here in Nashville just a couple of years ago. They were making a YouTube video in Hermitage, Old Hickory, at that Urban Air trampoline.
Mm-hmm.
You guys know that place?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they pulled butcher knives on some people in a parking lot. And one of the people didn't know it was a prank.
Yeah.
And he had a gun and he shot and killed the guy.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were just making a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Dusty
I don't know
approves.
why I'm laughing, but I just, if you're going to pull a knife on somebody
It's
as
so
a prank,
dumb.
you got to
Just
be.
a prank, bro.
Yeah,
It's just so
Yeah.
dumb. I mean, the guy obviously wasn't charged because,
Yeah.
I mean,
One of my guilty pleasures is this guy on TikTok I follow, and I'm not proud of. I don't like what he does. I'm against what he does, but the videos are so funny. It's just him. He's got a GoPro on, and he just walks up to people at Walmart and just picks fights with people
oh, I've seen
out
some
of
of those.
nowhere. And the guy's looking at steaks, right? And he just walks up and he goes, "Yeah, you're not the only one getting steaks tonight, buddy." And the guy's like, "What?" And he goes, "Move along, pipsqueak." He keeps calling people pipsqueaks. And it's so funny, but I don't like it, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And did they fight him? Or
No,
they-
He just
some,
eggs them on,
they'll
right?
get into it with them,
Yeah.
but most people
Yeah.
are just so shocked by somebody Imagine somebody saying that to you.
yeah.
You're not the only one
There-
getting steaks tonight.
There is that guy that he did a bunch of different things, but he would go, "Would you look at that? Would you look at that?" He would get real close to people, and he did a bunch of different things where he would go try to buy cars, and he would kick the tires and stuff, and he'd go, "Man, that's pretty good." I forget what I forget the guy's name. It's great though.
Yeah, that stuff though is, so your talent is you are just, you don't care that,
I know.
say you're doing something awkward. You
Well,
have
that
no
is-
talent.
That the talent or whatever, what they have that I don't is that ability. I could never do that to a stranger
No.
in public.
Yeah. So your talent is like you're a rude person.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally.
and so you don't care.
And I don't approve of it,
Yeah.
but it's just, God, it's
Yeah.
fun to watch
Yeah, I know.
sometimes.
I don't
you know?
like. So I there's some of it I can see laughing at, but some of it I don't. I don't like if someone's. You're making someone that doesn't want to be a part of something be
Agreed.
like
Yeah.
feel bad, which I like. You could argue I do it with Nick, but I mean, me and Nick are buddies, and like I would never. I
I feel
just do
like,
pranks at him because he falls for it. And I love Nick.
yes.
I like,
Yes, of course. Impractical Jokers is about as far as I can go.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly them. Obviously, it's them that has to do the dumb
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I still sometimes feel bad for the people around them. That
yeah, but it's really them.
it is.
And Practical Jokers is weirdly the best show on TV.
Mhm.
I never am like, I want to go watch Impractical Jokers, but if it's on, I can watch it for 18
Yeah.
hours.
Well, it's on True TV around the
Yeah.
clock.
Yeah.
When I opened for Dusty at Levity Live, where's that? in New York.
West Nyack.
Yeah, remember the green room had a little TV in the corner that was just stuck on Impractical Jokers
That's
all
part
weekend.
of the weekend.
And we would just sit back there, and when you first, you're like, God, I don't want to watch this. And then like 20 minutes go by, we haven't said anything. We're just like, the show's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's great.
I've hung out with them a couple of times with you. They're like rock stars. Everyone knows them. Do you know, like, I don't know how they're still pulling off pranks without everyone being like, that's obviously Sal or.
Well, I mean, stuff moves on. And then, I mean, I think it's become a lot harder for them.
I bet it has to be.
And they have to do maybe some makeup, or when they did the movie, they had to do, you have to try a few more times where someone's not going to, but you're still, even if you're the biggest show on the planet, like still like 1 million people are watching, 5 million people are watching, like it's not.
You'll still find people.
Yeah, you're still going to find people, but I think it became very hard for them.
Because they're always like in a mall or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like Sacha Baron Cohen, he had to basically stop that because couldn't get away with it anymore.
Yeah, I sometimes his were, it was very funny, but it was, some of it I thought was very mean spirited. Like, and that's how it's coming off to be like, it's very funny, but you're trying to make someone look dumb. And some of that, I'm like,
oh, I agree.
I don't really find that to be fair. Like, it just doesn't feel to be fair because you're like, you're making money off that.
Yeah.
The first Borat I thought was so great. And then later I went back and watched it and I was just like, the only reason this is working is because all of these people are nice to you.
Yeah.
They think that they're dealing with a situation where you don't know better.
Right.
And you're making them look dumb because they're being nice to you.
Yeah. Because they're talking to you and being.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So one of the first original pranksters was a Roman emperor named Elagabalus. I guess that's how you say. He was a teenager when he became emperor, and he loved playing pranks. And he would, for his pompous dinner guests, would put a whoopee cushion in their seat and that made a farting noise. He's the first known person to use a whoopee cushion.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Farts are timeless, huh?
Timeless. But he did some crazy, crazy stuff. Like if his guest got drunk and passed out in the room, he put a bear in the room with them. They just wake up with a bear in there.
Just a harmless prank.
Just a harmless prank.
It really escalated from a whoopee cushion.
Oh, it gets much, much worse.
Yeah.
He did some terrible stuff. He would do like a lottery system or a raffle where he would give away prizes, but you never knew what you'd get. He'd give away like gold and stuff, but he also give away a beehive or a dead dog or something like that. Or he would have them catapult gold all over the ground. And everyone would be scrambling to get it. And then he'd catapult snakes on them.
Wow.
So you'd be fighting snakes.
This doesn't
for the
feel
gold.
like pranks. This is torture.
He was
This
terrible
is an
person.
emperor? Who is this?
A teenage emperor. He was emperor at 14.
I mean, imagine being 14, you can just do whatever you want with no repercussions.
Well, he was assassinated at 18, so that shows.
Okay,
what they
he
thought
only
of
made it 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But he would just do crazy stuff like that.
A lot of pranks you got to think about them when you're going, this sounds better. It sounds, you want to hear someone say they did it. Like being like, you wake up with a bear in the room. You're like, that's hilarious. Be like, I just need to hear it. It doesn't mean everybody needs to go do that. But that's very funny when you hear it. A lot of pranks, like they sound good, like the plant. Like, can you imagine if a guy woke up with a bear in the room? That's all it takes. You don't need to go do it.
Yeah.
But Jackass, like when I love their stuff is very fun. They're doing that to each other and they're assigned like it's they have I think Bam, they put him in with a cobra.
No, that's one of the all-time great sketches.
Yeah.
But at least like he's in on it. He may not be in
He
on
might
that
have
sketch,
quit
but you
after
know
that.
what you're in for.
Yeah.
Right, he signed up to do the movie. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But he signed him to the movie, but that's like I feel like that was like
He
the
actually
line.
was very afraid of snakes.
Yeah, he's
and he
like
thinks he's filming another sketch and then he falls through the ground in a pit of snakes.
Wow.
Yeah.
well, that one or the one they locked him up with a king cobra in a.
I think they must have messed with him a bunch of times.
Yeah, they did a lot of crazy. Their stuff was always very funny, but it's obviously some of it's very.
Yeah.
You have a night like that,
Wild.
you're going to need a refresh with some athletic greens.
Our next partner
That was all right.
It's getting better.
Pretty good. Yeah.
is Athletic Greens. I think all of us are trying to take our AG1 Athletic Greens every day and doing it now with the vitamins. I got to have the vitamins.
Mm-hmm. Your vitamins were low.
But they were just filled with stuff they shouldn't be filled with.
Mhm.
I'm trying to get the feeling of what the body that's actually a healthy body, that's an energetic body, a body that is, you can go do things and enjoy doing things. And actually, your food is not fun. That's what Eric just told me. He's like, your food doesn't need to be the fun. You need to use food for fuel to go actually have fun. Like go doing things is what's fun. It's not like eating cotton candy is fun. It's, something that you feel like you have to do.
That's like the worst example. That's pretty fun.
It is pretty fun. But
It's the most fun food ever.
yeah. And you don't really eat it that much.
Yeah.
Eat cotton candy, but
Yeah.
after
But
you
anything
do,
else.
go to Athletic
Yeah.
Greens. We all gave AG1 a try because we wanted to increase energy and immune system. We all try to take AG1 before starting the day. Makes us feel like we're doing something. It gets all the ingredients. Since we travel often, we also get the single serving travel packs, so you never have to miss a day on the road. Every scoop has 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality that have major benefits like gut and mood support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. AG1 has been a part of millions of mornings since 2010. It's a long time. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/Nate. That is athleticgreens.com/Nate. Check it out.
Boom.
Now, Richard Branson, billionaire Richard Branson, he played a prank. I guess he's been rich for a long time because this was in 1989. I couldn't find video of this, but he and his buddy took a hot air balloon and decorated it to look like a UFO and flew it over London and on April Fool's, and people freaked out and like, oh my gosh, it's a UFO, and police and everything, everybody came, and then they land it and police like surround it. And somehow they opened the door, a hot air balloon. I'm not sure how they did that.
Mm-hmm.
But they had like dry ice to make it just like you see in a movie with the smoke, everything. And his buddy dressed up as E.T. and walked out. And he said the cop that was approaching him freaked out and ran the other way. He's like, he didn't get shot, but they ran the other way. But he said that's his favorite April Fool's prank. I'd say so.
That's a pretty impressive one.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's how Richard Branson actually came to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That was how
That's another
he is
theory.
an alien.
Maybe.
He's like, oh, it was just a prank. I've been here the whole time.
But no one knew him before then?
Yeah,
Like
I don't know.
that's how he got there? Maybe so. There was the Great Moon Hoax. The New York Sun. Don't start, Dusty. The New York Sun ran an article about a scientist, astronomer who had found pyramids and vegetation and humanoid creatures living on the moon. This was 1835, so people again believed it and they went with it. Problem is, all these things, it takes a while for people to figure out it's not real. This is just a few years ago in Alabama.
Still not sure that last one's not real, right?
Yeah.
In Alabama, on April Fool's, there was an article that said, state of Alabama, the lawmakers changed pi from 3.14, whatever, to just 3. Because there's like 3 is a good solid number. It's in the Bible. It's a lot easier, not all those other numbers. And then they issued a press release, saying NASA scientists in Huntsville were all upset about changing pi. It was not true.
Yeah.
Some New Mexico paper, I think, wrote it, but it makes Alabama look dumb, like they're doing this. But a lot of people bought into it and believed it.
I think it's kind of overestimate. They assume we all know what pi is in the state.
Oh, you think they gave Alabama more credit than
I
they
think for
deserve?
this joke to work, you'd have to first explain the concept of pi to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then be like, it's actually 3.
Yeah. I couldn't tell you why pi is 3.14. I just know what it is or what that means.
Oh, he saw the space thing. We saw an Elon Musk rocket go up in Melbourne, Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
When it came back down and landed?
No, when it was taking off.
Oh, I thought
They were doing a launch.
Okay.
Where'd it
Don't
go?
the rockets come back down?
Yeah, I'm sure it will. I saw the beginning. I don't know what conversation we're having. I watched the launch.
Where did it go?
So what are you're like, well, why didn't I see the end of it?
My understanding was that SpaceX, one of their big innovations was that the rockets were reusable, and they'd launch something, and then the rocket comes back down and lands where it took
I'm sure
off.
it does in a couple of days. Maybe a
No,
week.
no, this is like at the moment, so it didn't happen. That's all I wanted to know.
Oh, in the moment,
You
did
left
a
too
rocket
soon.
come?
Yeah,
I
it
did
comes
not see
right back
that.
down and does it.
I don't think that's right. Is it?
I think
Yeah.
eventually it comes back.
Yeah, but
down.
I thought it was up there for a while, taking payload or whatever, and then it eventually comes back to Earth.
Maybe.
Like, where's it go though?
It hits the dome.
I
and
got a
then
joke about it
comes back
now
down.
because I opened with a joke about it. I'm gonna see if it works everywhere. But like, yeah, that rocket takes a hard right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
yeah. But it's like I got a joke about it, so I don't want to do it because it was very fun. It's very fun to talk about.
Yeah.
It's just being silly.
Maybe it is not instantly.
Yeah.
I thought
I imagine you sitting next to Elon and the whole time you're like, but it doesn't come back. He's like, I mean, you're not impressed with what's going on right now? And you're like, well, I just was under the impression. I've read the New York Sun and they said that it comes back immediately. So I guess it's like when someone tells someone when they're like, well, I read this other thing. When someone's realizing that they're wrong and then they have to, you have to kind of wrap your head around, you're like, well, you were just wrong. And then I'm not saying this is just a good
I
point.
understand. I understand.
And then you see the person, they go, well, I read it. That was what I was told that they were like, you're not just going like, yeah, but you couldn't be wrong.
I'm admitting. I'm pretty good at admitting. Yeah,
No, I know.
pretty wrong.
It just made me think of when you have to just go, yeah, I was way wrong.
Well, yeah, I just would be curious
I don't know.
about
You might
what
be right,
what the point of the rocket is.
What?
I mean, like, especially if it just comes right back. But what, is it a prank?
It takes something up.
Yeah.
Whatever it's taken up detaches itself from the rocket. Now, now traditionally, how rockets have worked up until now is that rocket then dies,
crashes into the ocean.
crashes into the ocean or whatever, and it's tremendously expensive.
Yeah.
So this idea is that rocket will then comes back down
Yeah.
and lands right where it was.
Yeah.
So that's what's
So you
happening.
could be throwing stuff there all day.
Yeah.
It's like a
Just goes
volleyball.
up there.
Just like, zoop, and then comes back down. Just launch stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But
yeah,
the
it's pretty
piece
fun.
that doesn't come back, where's it going?
To outer space.
to space.
We did see the fire thing went away. Like you see the fire thing and then it does go away. And I don't see the fire.
So his rockets are just up in space right now. Does he have any video of it going from Earth into space?
Yeah.
Let's see. That'd
See,
be amazing.
There it is landing.
Yeah. So
So maybe
so it
did
took whatever
land.
up, then it comes back.
I think it takes like satellites or
That seems like just they did the video in reverse.
That's true. You don't know that they didn't do that. But I don't.
but the smoke is still billowing.
yeah.
Even in reverse.
So I did not see that. Maybe I didn't pay attention to that. So maybe it did come back. So maybe you're exactly right, Aaron. Because where would that part go?
Well, I think it comes back, but just not immediately.
Well, what's it doing? It just hangs out where?
Well, it takes a while to get up there. I don't think it's just 30 feet in the air. I think it.
No, I know, but then it's. I wonder how quick it comes back.
Yeah, I can't find the answer to that. That's what I've been looking
Nate's
for.
like, why is
That's
everyone
how it
still
all
hanging
kinda
out
works
here?
right?
It's almost like, yeah, you could, if you'd waited 10 more minutes, you'd have seen it come back.
You're
Yeah.
like, why are y'all still hanging here? Let's
Yeah.
go.
Let's go,
Yeah,
everybody.
it seems like seeing a rocket land would be more exciting than seeing it take off.
Yeah.
Well, it is these days.
Yeah.
We've seen a rocket take off,
Yeah.
but you don't see it land too often.
Have you ever seen a rocket take off?
No.
Okay. You said it like you're like, I don't know why I even bother to go outside. Like you go, hey, this rocket's about to take off. You're like, I'm good.
Who
I
cares?
think you could find kids now that would be like, hey, this rocket's about to take off, and they'd be like, I'm good.
So I finally found the answer. The whole thing takes about 9 minutes from takeoff to landing. 9 minutes.
All right, I guess I'm
All
wrong.
right.
It's pretty impressive.
Guess I have to admit that I'm wrong.
I feel like, yeah. Well, I was right.
So we're looking at about 4.5 minutes to get to space then.
No, just to get the whatever on top of the thing is.
Yeah, but if
Shoots
that
off.
it just shoots off, but it's got to have some force behind it to get it on into space.
Well, it probably comes down a lot more slowly than it goes up. Because
Mhm.
on the way up, it's literally a rocket being launched.
so
it's-
2 minutes to space.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably less than that.
Well, I'm confused. The rocket goes up for a couple of minutes, and then the payload or whatever it's taking keeps going.
It detaches from the rocket.
And how does it keep going to outer space?
Well, it's got a pretty good amount of acceleration and momentum because it's been attached to a rocket.
But that'll
whole
be
time.
enough to keep
Hard
it
Yeah,
going.
it'll just keep going. Yeah.
Hard work.
practice.
Yeah.
Puts in the work, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
That's the biggest prank of all, huh, Dusty?
Well, it's still not seen the video of it
Yeah.
in going from Earth into space, but
Well, they were talking about.
I'm sure it's out there though.
Show
right?
is there a video? Is there a video that?
I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's video of this.
just look up a video and then just show it.
When the Cowboy Stadium opened, how many years has that been now? 10 maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. In Jerry's world, the punter sometimes, if they kicked it ball too high, it would hit the dome, you know, and they were talking about,
The score.
oh yeah.
It hit the scoreboard.
Yeah, you're right. The
Yeah.
scoreboard. And they were talking about how you had to adjust for that, and that didn't happen anymore. And I was thinking about Dusty, how these rockets, you know, you can only go so high or it might hit something and bounce back, but they've learned to adapt to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay.
maybe not the
I'm not
best
saying
analogy.
it hits anything.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering. I
Yeah.
just would love to see it.
Okay.
All right. What's the next one?
Well, we talked about when Nick was here, because we did hoaxes once before. Sid Finch.
Yeah,
Sid Finch was made up
the
stories.
baseball. He could
Sports,
throw.
Sports Illustrated did an April Fool's issue about a guy who could throw 168 miles per hour.
Wow.
And he was an orphan and just all these crazy things he could do. And people bought into it.
Henry Rowan Gardner.
Yeah, kind of like Henry Rowan Gardner. People bought into it, and a lot of people believed it. And they really played it up. Lenny Dykstra, who played for the Mets at the time, was being on it. And I think Nick halfway believed it when he was on.
Oh yeah,
This
That was
episode.
one that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's
So
one-
we just redid that one to catch Dusty back up. You got all these people listening. And you're like, everybody, we want to tell Dusty this stuff.
Well, it's an interesting if you're gonna
Well, I
play
appreciate it.
if you're gonna
Yeah.
play a prank like that,
yeah.
that's like way too high of a number.
Yes, I agree.
168.
I agree. I was thinking that when I read
If
that.
you told me a kid threw 120,
Yeah, I was going to say like
that's
112.
still unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like that high, you'd be like, whoa. But 168 is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who was I watched some of the World Baseball. What is it?
It was awesome. World Baseball,
Baseball
Classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had at the end of it that Otani
Yeah.
and Trout. I mean that was the whole thing was that matchup, and it came down to 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, Ohani
Wild.
versus Trout.
Wild.
Insane that worked
Mhm.
out. That Otani guy is.
He's probably the best baseball player ever.
Yeah, I mean he's Babe Ruth, but now, like and be Babe Ruth now is insane. Like Babe Ruth back then, I feel like people pitched and batted more and stuff like that.
But he only did both for 2 years. Only 2 seasons he pitched and hit.
Oh, really?
And then after 2 seasons, he just became an outfielder and just hit. So Otani's already done more than Babe Ruth ever really did.
You're saying Babe Ruth only did it 2 seasons?
Yeah, did I say Otani?
No, you said it right.
Okay. Yeah, Babe Ruth only
Yeah.
did both for 2 years. So
Yeah.
the comparison's not even fair to Otani anymore.
Yeah.
And also back then, what were they throwing? I mean, max maybe low 80s.
Yeah. Which was crazy at the time. But it's like,
Yes.
yeah, Otani threw 100 miles an hour.
Otani threw the fastest pitch of the entire tournament and hit the hardest ball
Yeah.
in the entire tournament. Insane.
Insane.
Yeah, nobody's done what he's done.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy. All right. There you go.
Here's the rocket coming back down. You've been
Yeah.
watching this whole thing.
Yeah,
haven't
I mean,
you?
I mean, still, yeah, it's not a good video. You're saying
Yeah.
you want to see them in
what do you want? Like a first person
I'd
GoPro
like a video,
video?
attached to the rocket, and it's
Right.
like almost like giving you a ladder, or like I don't know the view, but like you're looking out at, you can see people watching the rocket take off, and then it takes off, and then we go way high, and then next thing you know, we're entering space. I want to see them go through the atmosphere I want to see it all. I want to see what it looks like.
Oh, I feel like I've seen what you're talking
I
about.
feel like I have too.
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
And
look
I've
up
looked for
point
it.
of view, POV. All right. Read.
Here's a good one. NPR did this back in 2014 on April Fools. They posted an article entitled, "Why Doesn't America Read Anymore?" And people flipped out with all their comments and sharing their opinions and stuff like that. But if you open the article, it tells you it's an April Fool's joke. So they proved their point about America not reading because no one read the article.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. Wow. When was that?
2014.
That's like the
Wow.
old test they used to give us in school. They would say, read all the instructions before you take the test.
Yeah.
And then if you read all the instructions say, do not take this test.
Yeah.
And you knew who didn't read it because it'd be filling in the blanks.
Yeah.
And that was me. I don't
Yeah.
need these instructions. I know how to take a test.
Yeah.
I would just not take tests and just hope it works out.
Yeah,
And
just
one
hope
day,
that that's at the bottom.
And one day it worked out.
Well, you want to be like, well, why does the last step override all the other steps?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the argument I
Is this the
remember
video?
making. Here's literally a video from GoPro of a GoPro attached to a rocket being launched into
Well, let's
space.
That's all right.
Let's see. All right. Well, all right.
There's people.
I
There's
don't see
people
any- I don't
waving
see any
down there.
people.
Oh,
Okay. So we already cut away. So we've already edited. Okay.
yeah.
It's
There's
spinning real fast. So
yeah. It's gonna spin. It's got to go quick.
got to get us motion sickness here.
Yeah. Well, we'd have to show. You'd have to watch it on your own to be like, yeah, like go like. Can we fast forward a little bit?
Yeah. Well, I want to
Well,
get
there
the
you go.
exact moment when it comes in. There.
Now it's like look how high that is.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
very
so,
quick.
now we've hit.
I
Something.
bet you would imagine you hit space.
We've
Yeah.
hit something.
You've hit
here.
space and it's calmed down
So then we edit. And
Yeah.
now we're
in space.
in some kind of weird CGI moment here.
Yep. Now you're in space,
Oh,
and then
there's
that's when they let that rocket go.
Yeah. See.
something.
Now,
So
if
now
it were
it's there.
SpaceX, that would just come back and land.
So all right. So GoPro, they're working the fisheye lens. I
Yep.
know that feature on there. Yep, there it is.
And now you're in space.
There you go.
Okay. Well,
That's the rocket that's there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's
Would be a
It's
lot of
obvious
stuff.
to me what happened. GoPro, in an elaborate attempt to sell GoPros to rocket companies, did this whole video. It's fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that didn't do it for me. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I was ready for my mind. To
I
be
was
blown.
hoping it'd be just one continuous
Yeah.
shot
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
didn't do it.
Well, I imagine they have it.
Yeah, it's. Yeah,
But I mean, they're
got-
trying to
got-
make it.
yeah.
Trying to make it watchable.
This is
Yeah.
this is trying to be watchable for people
I feel
that
like
are
when
not dusty, but
Yeah.
the dusties are like, I need to see the guy with the GoPro.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see him hook up. I want a
Yeah.
straight view hook up to the
If
space
someone
station.
said,
Comes-
because people can go to space now.
Mhm.
If someone said you can go to space, would you do it?
yeah, I would do it.
Yeah, just to be like, let me see where we're
Yeah.
going.
Of course, yeah. I mean, and if I'm wrong, that'd be great because I'm in space, guys.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
But what if you're right? What happens?
Well, they'll probably kill me right after.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's the tough part.
yeah.
So you don't want to go on that trip because once you find out, you ain't coming back.
yeah.
In 1996, Taco Bell ran advertisements in newspapers nationwide that to help the national debt, they had bought the Liberty Bell and they were renaming it the Taco Liberty Bell. And people lost their minds over it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. People thought it was real.
That's a great way to. It's a great marketing tactic. I think we've talked about it before. Remember when Omaha Steaks? The big story was that Peyton Manning was gonna, when he said Omaha pre-snap, he was gonna get sponsored by Omaha Steaks.
I don't remember
Saying that. Completely fake story.
Yeah.
It got a ton of press for Omaha Steaks. Was never real. And then the other one I remember was Spider-Man 2. A big story was Spider-Man 2 was going to put their logos on the bases in Major League Baseball games.
Huh.
Totally made up. People got furious about it. It's the exact same thing as this. Taco Bell buys the Liberty Bell.
I feel like you're maybe not far from some of that stuff. I think
That stuff could happen. Yeah.
Tell you what they do is put ads in podcasts like Harry's Razors. Talk about your experience with Harry's Razors. Oh, I wasn't supposed to read that part.
Oh, look who! That's the video. That's why there's Dusties in the world. Because stuff like that happens.
Yeah. Show the okay. I love using the 5-blade German engineered razor, weighted handle. Feel that thing, foaming shave gel.
I love to feel it.
And this is good. You have a very smooth face.
That is
Brian.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
That sounded odd, but
it did.
I
Sounds like a slam.
Smooth like cookie dough, really.
Foaming
The
shave
weighted
gel.
handle is nice.
Let me see that.
Yeah, check out some foaming weight gel.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, that feels good.
and a travel cover for your razor, so when you're traveling, you don't get it banged up.
Oh, look at that.
Plus, you can schedule replacement blades delivery wherever you live for up to refill as low as $2. Harry's makes more great self-care products than ever before. Dozens of affordable items like post-shave balm, body wash, lotions, and more. They have the highest customer satisfaction in the shaving industry, and they're still offering a no-risk trial. So if you don't like the shave, it's on them. Don't get overcharged for razors. Get Harry's. Get a $15 Truman Shave trial set for just $3 at harrys.com/Nate. That's harrys.com/Nate for a $3 trial set. Can't beat that.
What a great
Can't
name,
beat that.
too.
Harry's.
Harry's.
That is
like
a good
for
name.
dealing with hair.
You always get the ad reads with props, man. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about that.
That's what I do.
Yeah, that
I
was
had life
yeah,
insurance. I don't have a prop for that.
That was the razor he used today.
Yeah,
That's why it
We
looks
just
so
passed
good.
around. Yeah.
you can use the razor for all parts of your body, guys. And here, take
He
a
used
feel.
it on top of his head. That's how he gets that so smooth up there.
Similar, Burger King ran an advertisement for left-handed Whopper. They said all the condiments would rotate 180 degrees to suit the left-handed burger connoisseur. People believed it, and the next day, everyone was lined up at Burger King asking for the left-handed Whopper. Right-handed people were just saying, make sure your mine's right-handed, because I'm a right-handed person.
Yeah, see, I'm left-handed. That seems like a cruel joke to the left-handed people. We're already, dealing with issues out here.
Do you buy any, or have you ever bought any products designed specifically for left-handed people?
Only baseball gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I never can play catch with people just that have gloves.
Yeah, me
because
too.
there's rarely a left-handed person out there. And if they are, they need the glove.
Right.
But somebody will have some extra gloves, like you want to play catch, and I have to catch and then take it off to throw.
I was wondering if they make spiral, binders or spiral notebooks backwards for left-handed people.
They may, but you still have to drag your hand all across everything you're writing in, or do like this.
You're still working against
Yeah,
what God did
yeah.
to you. Yeah.
And all of it, and all of the desk in school have the right hand.
Oh, that must
prop,
be
and then
tough.
we didn't have that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard out here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's hard out here for
It's
left-handed
tough.
people.
It's tough. I'm sorry, man.
I'm a lefty too, but isn't there some languages
Figures.
that? Yeah, we talked about
Makes
that.
sense, dude.
Because in baseball, I'd have to shift.
Yeah.
And then I would strike out. And they're like, why do we even move? Just go back. The first time up, people would shift. Second time up, they're like, just stay where you're at. It doesn't
Just
matter.
move in.
Yeah. Shift in.
The BBC pulled a prank in 1976 where an astronomer told people that Jupiter and Pluto were going to be in alignment. So for 1 minute, there'd be a slight reduction in Earth's gravity, allowing people to briefly float. And sure enough, at 9:48, people were saying they felt themselves get lighter, even though it wasn't true. But a lot of people were saying it really happened to them.
That's the mind. The mind can,
Yeah.
you can make yourself feel that.
Should almost thank them for doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you, BBC.
Yeah. For doing something that's just unites people for a second.
Made us forget about all the real.
Yeah.
What atrocities were being
Whoa.
committed while that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. Boston TV station told people that there was a hill outside Boston that had erupted as a volcano. This was a few days after Mount St. Helens.
Oh.
And they ran footage of Jimmy Carter talking about it, even though they'd just taken footage from the Mount St. Helens thing.
Yeah.
And put it together and used footage that was also from Mount St. Helens, telling people it was a hill outside of Boston. And of course, people freaked out and lost their mind. And you know, the governor had to issue a statement telling people, calm down, take it easy. I think the producer of the TV station got fired. But, you know, they always put April Fools up somewhere, but it's not blatant enough.
Yeah.
They put it up at the end, but by then people had already panicked and ran out in the streets.
Yeah. Makes it,
People, I mean, we said none of us really like it, but they're always like, oh, you fell for it. Well, we trusted you. You seem like you were an honest person.
Yeah, you lied to us.
I'll never make that mistake again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the being nice. Is a lot of times the pranks, you're someone being nice
Yes.
and going, yeah, okay. Nick is the nicest.
Yeah.
So it's someone being very trusting.
I mean, I had a good friend who sent me a flyer and said, do you think this is a good flyer? I've been working really hard on this. I'd like your opinion. And I'm not that gullible. Poor Dusty spent all day trying to help him.
Well, I got the same one too. And I was like, yeah, I tried to point out a couple of things that I thought was wrong with it, but
Aaron made a flyer for a show, right?
Yeah.
and Aaron's like a graphics guy. He's made flyers for me in the past. So who am I to question Aaron's ability to make a flyer?
Well, I thought it legit made you upset, Dusty, when I said that to you.
No, it didn't make me upset.
Okay. That's
But I was like, who am I to question? Aaron said, I've worked really hard on this. And then he sent it to me. And I'm like, well, I don't really like that microphone in there. And he's like, well, I want people to know it's stand up. And I was like, oh, okay. Okay.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw it, but
We talked about it.
hindsight, it is not a good looking flyer. But I don't know his genius.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Who am I?
In 2021, The Atlantic ran an article about Nate Bargatze calling him the nicest man in stand-up. A lot of people fell for it until a few weeks later when he called me a cow. And then people knew something's not right here. Opie and Anthony, when they worked for a station in Boston, they broke in and said that the mayor of Boston had died in a car crash in Florida. And they had sound bites from people talking about it, and it was just a made up thing. They got fired for it from the radio station.
Oh, that's what ended it for them.
I guess.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
they were in New York for years, right?
Yeah.
But before they came there, this was
Was
in 1998.
Did you ever do Opie and
Wow.
Anthony, or was that before your...
No. I never did open anything. Like it's no, I was there during it.
Yeah.
And we wanted to get on it, but we were never. I was like, I knew, like, I think DeRosa got on a bunch. Guys got on, but I was at the level of, like, you know, that was like a Patrice Burr, like, those guys were all in there doing it. And so I was like kind of the class under where I thought, like, maybe I'm gonna get on, and hopefully I'd get on, and then I just never got on. I've done Jim and Sam now, but a bunch, obviously. But like I was never, and then it went away. So
Your dad told me that one of his favorite all-time jokes or stories is Josh Wolf and I guess a prank he played on his buddy at a bachelor party. Do you know this story?
no.
His buddy asked him to get him a stripper for his bachelor party, and he hired some woman wrestler. And I guess she came out and she did strip, but she also starts picking up the guy and just body slamming him and just like wearing the guy out. And his buddy gets mad and like tries to fight back, and she just destroyed. It's a long. I'll watch it on YouTube. It's
hired a hitman,
basically. But it's a prank he played. It's got millions and millions of views. But your dad says one of the funniest stories he'd ever heard.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen it. I don't know if you did it justice, but
I did not do it.
yeah,
I did not do it justice.
yeah.
Well, it's a little dirtier than what's usually for this. I was trying to edit,
cleaning it up,
edit on the fly.
Yeah. Well, you didn't when you said stripper. I tell you, movies I watch. This is not this, but I watch. I always have some movies I watched. Last night had a little class stood up. American Graffiti.
Oh, great
American
movie.
Graffiti.
Love that movie.
Which is Ron Howard and
I've never seen it. It's a classic. I know. It's
Yeah,
from the
well, it was
70s.
just on. It was on.
Same guy that did Star Wars, right? It's
George Lucas.
Yeah, it was on, and then there was part of me that I was sitting there, and I did nothing yesterday. I had a nice laying around day. Harrison Ford's in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then so I was like, all right, it was on, and then Laura was in there too, and then she fell asleep. 2 seconds, as always, per use, no matter what time it could be. She's gonna fall asleep. And then so I'm just kind of watching, and I was like kind of intrigued. But then I thought some of me, I was like kind of thinking, we're shooting specials now. We're like, I'm kind of like, I need to maybe watch some stuff and see how stuff is shot, see what it looks like, and see, I don't know any of that stuff. I never grew up. I never watched any of this, so I just kind of watched it, and then. I finished it, and then when I was done, then I went and watched The Italian Job.
I remember that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, and that was very fun.
I think that's like Harrison Ford's first main role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. So yeah,
It's great.
Let's
I
see.
did a gig outside of Modesto, and that's where it takes place, right? Modesto, California.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. That was like they graduated high school, and it was their last night in Modesto before they went out to college.
yes,
Yeah.
but it was. It's rated PG, and I don't know if it would be rated.
No.
It'd be rated PG-13 now, probably. But it's crazy with the times how it was so much looser with the PG rating back then and stricter now. You almost would think,
Be the
because
opposite.
some stuff is getting, like, you're seeing, the kids are seeing more stuff than they've ever seen quicker now. But it's supposedly a stricter.
I bet the rating matters less to how much the movie's going to make.
Well, there
than
was
it
no
ever did.
PG-13 back then.
Oh, it just
Oh,
went
yeah.
to PG to R?
Mm-hmm. Back
Yeah,
in my
just
day.
parental guidance. It's like, all right, don't let your kids watch this unless you want them to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now does it make sense? It's closer. It must be closer to PG than an R, right?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying PG-13 is a less harsh rating?
Then
Well,
R.
I mean,
R.
someone
Than
mooned
PG.
someone in that movie. And someone mooned someone.
PG-13
Like-
didn't
So that's
exist
straight
when this movie came out.
nudity, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if it's PG, it's saying parental guidance. If it's PG-13, it's saying parental guidance unless they're 13.
Or
Unless they're
older.
13 and up. Yeah.
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 Unless they're
Okay.
exactly 13.
Yeah. Well, even if they're 13, you would be like, it's not bad for the parent to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, let me check it out.
I could never see any movies growing up.
I couldn't either, but it's like, I would think, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
wish
interesting to see all
somebody
the
would've-
cars, to see all the, I've read about it too. It's like, it was George Lucas directed this.
Yep.
And they, and Francis
Ford Coppola?
Ford Coppola came up and said, hey, I want you to make like a coming of age movie. And he's like, all right. And then he made this.
Wolfman Jack?
Yeah, people say this is George
Yeah, did
Lucas's
you know who Wolfman
real
Jack is?
masterpiece.
Yeah. Dusty mentioned him a couple episodes ago when you were talking about the guy with the gravelly voice. You were trying to say Tom Waite,
Mm-hmm.
but you said Wolfman Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know Wolf. And then when I watched last night, I looked up Wolfman Jack.
Yeah. Again, back in my day, he was a big
People
deal.
used to say I sounded like Wolfman Jack.
Yeah. He was, do you remember listening to him on the radio?
I just remember, like, not so much the radio,
He was
but-
around.
But, he would be like on these late night talk shows, like
Mhm.
stuff, and he was kind of like Ryan Seacrest or something. Now, like New Year's Eve, he would be one of the hosts or something
okay.
like that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, half of those people on that list, I know, like Cindy Williams was on Laverne and Shirley, and
You love seeing those names. Yeah.
I did Mackenzie Phillips.
Candy Clark.
I don't know Candy, but
Bo Hopkins.
I don't know Bo.
Okay.
Richard Dreyfuss, I think you guys know him.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. I know Richard Dreyfuss.
There's a lot of people. I mean, my daughter's now watching Sesame Street. I don't know half the puppets because they've come along
Yeah.
since. There was no Elmo when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Elmo's been around for 40 years, but
Oh,
there was
really?
no Elmo when I
You know,
was.
the Elmo song that I saw on Sesame Street the other day, I pulled it up.
Yeah.
It's a good jam.
Yeah.
The Elmo song with Big Bird and the elephant guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Snuffleupagus.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a jam.
Snuffleupagus. How did they make that name? Snuffleupagus.
I don't know. It's all. I mean, it's all.
Yeah, it's always been.
make-believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all fake. Hate to ruin it, but
Well, it's April Fool's episode, so
Yeah.
it's a good way to wrap it up.
All right. Well, happy April Fools. Oh yeah, if you want to say you're going, I'm going to this weekend or this week. Big shows. Pittsburgh PPG Arena. Penguins, where the Penguins play.
wow, that's sick.
And then out in Raleigh the day before that. Raleigh, North Carolina the day before that, where the Hurricanes play.
Mm-hmm.
And then where the Penguins play, and then Charleston, West Virginia as well that weekend. Something else. There's maybe something else. I think there's some. Then Cavelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio. And then, So that's where I'll be at this weekend. Go watch Mike Vecchione's special. It did great. A lot of people talked about it, and they loved it, and how funny Mike is. And, that was the first step into this Nateland world where we can give you TV, clean content, I think. That's basically
it came out great, man.
Came out great. Super funny. It was awesome. Excited for Greg Warrens, and we're off and running. Go subscribe to Nateland Entertainment on YouTube.
And Dustin Nickerson has a new special out.
Dustin Nickerson has a special out. Very funny.
Runs
available.
in the family.
Yeah. Dustin, who we have not been able to have on the show yet, but Dustin comes out with me on the road, and he's written a book. We talked about his book. He's got a podcast. I mean, this is a dude that grinds it out, and he's hopefully I can do a special with him one day. But he's very, very funny. Talks a lot about family. He has a great family with kids and that kind of stuff, and you will really enjoy Dustin. And and I mean, truly works very hard. So
Yeah, and I opened for him on this special taping.
All right.
So if you're watching and you're like, man, that crowd's hot from the get.
just know
That was me.
that was Aaron.
And it was also Taylor Tomlinson who went up after me.
Yeah.
She got him going a little
Yeah.
more than I did, but I had a pretty good set on those shows.
Yeah.
This Saturday, assuming it's not an April Fool's joke, I'll be back at the Grand Ole Opry. They could be playing a prank on me,
Yeah.
but I'm going to show up and see. I'll be at the Opry this Saturday. And then Sunday night, I'm headlining Stand Up Live in Huntsville. So please come to that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be at comedy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you already went. You were talking about things. You were like, the show was so hot.
You're right. I'm sorry.
I got in
I'm
a rhythm here.
But I need this. I'm
Yeah.
in Syracuse, New York this weekend
Oh yeah.
at the Funny Bone. 2 shows. Come on out.
It's a great club. I always like going there.
I haven't been there in years. Now I'm back headlining, so I'm excited. And then Lexington next weekend.
Hopefully, the 20 people that come see me will come out.
Yeah.
This weekend. That'll be great.
Yeah, awesome.
But no, it is great. I like it there. You're gonna have fun. And I'll be at Comedy Works Denver this weekend, April, whatever the month is now, to April. I
March.
don't know. I'll be there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know the dates.
Come and ring in the new year with Dusty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Saturday.
New
Let's do a
Year's
happy
Saturday.
New Year thing.
Happy New Year.
Champagne.
The real
Yeah.
New Year.
Yeah.
The real New Year. All right. We love you. Thank you. And we'll see you next week. Bye. Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.